What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here, and Earl has now strengthened and is now the second hurricane of the Atlantic season. Earl is now a hurricane, ladies and gentlemen. We have the latest public advisory. Earl becomes the second hurricane of the 2022 Atlantic season. Hurricane season is ramping up, folks. And if you think this is going to be a bust, think again. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this. At 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, the center of Hurricane Earl was located by a NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft near latitude 24.4 degrees north, longitude 65.8 degrees west. Earl is moving to the north at 6 miles per hour, which is slower than average, mind you. And this motion is expected to continue to tomorrow with a gradual turn to the north-northeast on Thursday. On the forecast track, the center of Earl is expected to pass southeast of Bermuda by Friday morning. There is a tropical storm watch in effect for the entire island. If you take a look at the cone right here, this is basically what they're looking at. They're going to have to update the cone. The advisory just came out at the time of recording, so they're going to have to update the cone right here. So, yeah, tropical storm watch for Bermuda. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the next 48 hours. If you're in Bermuda, start preparing right now. Data from the hurricane hunters indicate that maximum sustained winds have increased to near 80 miles per hour with higher gusts. So this thing isn't just intensifying. It seems to be intensifying at a pretty quick pace, and this hurricane may actually be stronger than 80 miles per hour. In fact, we have the data right here. This is the Hurricane Hunter reconnaissance aircraft that is currently in there right now. That is why they issued a hurricane, designated this a hurricane. First of all, let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to take a look at the flight level winds. The flight level winds are around 80 knots, or about 92 miles per hour to be exact. We are looking at several SFMRs around 75 knots. That's equivalent to around 85 miles per hour, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 86.25 miles per hour to be exact. We have several SFMRs of that. This might be an 85 mile per hour hurricane right now. It'll depend on what happens on this next pass, because generally the northeastern part of the hurricane is the strongest right there. But if we take a look at satellite right there, it does look like the western eyewall, for the time being, is the strongest part of the storm. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as time continues to progress right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track models and intensity. The track models are pretty basic right there. The next 3 days they are in general agreement. They're having it moving a little bit east of the Bermuda right there. Agreement for the next 3 days. Then it starts to disagree a little bit, but general direction is the same. Now, if we take a look at the intensity models, they've been pretty decent right there. The vast majority of models have it as a major hurricane. Some have it as a high-end Cat 3 or borderline Category 4 hurricane right there. And considering the warm waters out there, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Now, chances of a Category 4 hurricane happening, they're not that bad. But the wind shear right there, if it can move, is not the greatest either. Although the wind shear has been weakening kind of a little bit to its south right there. So that's something we'll have to continue to take a look at as time continues to progress. Now, let's go ahead and run some model runs. We have the HMON model right here that I was just taking a look at. We're running this, the GFS, and the HWRF just to show you. The HMON basically already has it as a hurricane, at least at 850 millibars right here. Then it starts strengthening, continuing to strengthen. Eventually, the pressure bottoms out. Even after it passes Bermuda as potentially a Category 3 hurricane. Eventually, the pressure bottoms out at around 950 millibars right here, as you can see. So yeah, the max winds are at 850 millibars, or about flight distance for hurricane hunters right there is about 132 knots. That's equivalent to a low end Category 4 hurricane right there if you do the right conversions right there. So then this starts to stagnate, starts weakening as it moves through the cooler waters, and that's pretty much where we're going to end that right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the GFS right here, because the models are in general agreement right here. GFS has a continuing strength, and actually has it strengthened to a 955 millibar Category 3 hurricane moving through Bermuda right there. And Bermuda could potentially see some hurricane force gusts according to the GFS right there before it moves off. Then it starts stagnating and kind of just dies off right there. Now, the HWRF is actually interesting because the HWRF is generally the more aggressive of these models, but it's pretty much in agreement, and the hurricane's already stronger than this model run right there, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and run this. Yeah, it continues to intensify, develop, strengthen, all of that. And it's eventually, as we continue to go on, this is 60 hours out. It makes a pass through by Bermuda at a Category 3 hurricane status, and then it kind of stagnates around 950 millibars right here. We do have some interesting model ideas right here. We do have a max wind potential of 148 knots, or about 140 miles per hour on the surface right there if you do the conversion correctly. And then it starts stagnating, and then it kind of starts not developing at that point. So, yeah, interesting mile runs. Earl is now the second hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season. We have 2 new areas of interest. We're not going to go get into those tonight. This video is all about Hurricane Earl, as Bermuda is now potentially in its path. I will continue to update you guys here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.